Hey everybody, Leon Thomas here for another episode of Real Thoughts and Conversations. This show is produced by my company, the Leon Thomas Group. To learn more about us, go to our website, theleonthomasgroup.com. And if you have a subject, a topic that you'd like to discuss here on Real Thoughts and Conversations, all you do, send me an email. Send it to Leon at theleonthomasgroup.com. Now, those of you that have watched the show before, you know that usually on this show, we talk about hot topics. We talk about pressing national issues, sometimes even local issues. And as we were preparing for tonight, I wanted to make this one a little different. I wanted to make this one a show that we could highlight someone who's doing something to help others to have better business practices in what they do. So it's not as helping others like we may talk about on Wake Up Baltimore, what are you doing to help society? But we're going to talk to a business professional who does work in the financial area that helps businesses. And the purpose here is to talk about there are a lot of people that have their own businesses. They have their own business and they're really, really good at what that subject area is. They're really good at their craft. But when it comes to the finances, they don't have everything in order. And we have someone here today that's going to help us get that finance piece in order. I'd like to welcome Mr. Cedric Butler to Real Thoughts and Conversations. Good evening, Mr. Butler.
Good evening, Leon. Thank you for the invite. How are you doing today?
Yes, sir. Doing well. Doing well. I'm just getting off the racquetball court, playing racquetball with the kids at Racquetball Revival. They gave me a little workout.
Okay.
They got me moving around,
Yeah,
playing. Gotta do it. But I'm feeling good. Mr.
that's
Butler, please tell us about you. Introduce yourself to us. And the reason we want you to do it is because I want you to control what people know about you, right? I want you to have full control of that narrative about you. So take a minute, introduce yourself to our audience.
definitely. Thank you, Leon. So my name is Cedric Butler. I was born and raised in Brooklyn, New York. I came down to Florida. I went to a HBCU called Florida Memorial College. Got my degree in accounting. I worked in the corporate space for about 18 years doing accounting work on different levels. I started my company in 2016. My company name is New Era Success. And what I do over the years, I established several different services. One is helping people with personal credit, because we all know personal credit is everything. I also help small business owners with equipment financing and business funding.
All right. Now, first, you said you from New York.
Yes, I am.
Now, as I mentioned to you when we first met,
Yes, sir.
there's two things that happen, and you people will automatically tell you where they're from or where they are. And
Hmm.
that's New Yorkers will say, it doesn't matter what. They go, I'm from New York. I know how to tie shoes better than you. I'm from New York. I'm from New York. I'm from New York. Right? All right, because they know everything, right? I'm from New York. I play better handball than you. I'm from New York. I know how to do, right? That's one. New Yorkers will always do that. And the other thing is people in Florida.
Hmm.
I live in Baltimore. So when it's like 17 degrees in Baltimore and I talk to someone from Florida, first thing they say, she say, "Hi, how you doing?" And they say, "I'm doing really good where it's 75 degrees here in sunny Florida," right? Florida's New, but you're both. You're from New York, but you live in Florida.
I live in Florida. So I would definitely say the only thing I'm gonna say about New York is pizza is better than everybody else's. That's the only thing I'm gonna say, to make it stand out. I'm from New York. And then the second thing I tell people, never ask me about the weather. Never ask me about the weather. All my friends are like, "How's the weather?" I said, "Don't ever ask me that." I
Don't
said,
ask.
"Here is a hurricane in the ocean. The weather is always great down here. So please, I'm the one. Don't ask me that." I
It's
would never
always
start off a conversation with, "Oh, it's hot and sunny. It's 95 degrees. I'm going to the beach." No, don't never ask me about the weather because you can always have a good time in South Florida. So,
all right. Right on.
you're so
That's
right.
good. So in your intro, you mentioned that you worked in the corporate world and you did accounting, right?
Yes.
Tell us some of the types of jobs that you had in accounting so we can let the audience understand where your expertise is and how good you are at what you do, and you have a tremendous amount of experience. So what type of accounting did you do
Oh,
in corporate?
I love this. Getting out of getting out of college. Started from the bottom. So I did accounts receivables for a health insurance company, billing. So that was accounts receivable. I did some AP work, accounts payable. Cutting checks and reconciliations. Then I started to move up the chain. I was an accountant, so I did like more books and payroll, which I definitely love, especially doing payroll. That was kind of one of my favorite things. Paying people, making sure the payroll was done correctly, and people got paid on time. Doing the books, bank recs, balance sheet reconciliations. Looking at analyzing P&Ls and things of that nature. So,
Mhm.
as when I graduated, and telling my age, when I graduated in '96, my first job I got in '97. I just worked my way up the chain because I wanted to work for one of the big six at the time, Ernest and Young or Arthur Anderson, Price Waterhouse, those companies. But every application I did, you don't have no experience. You don't have no experience. I'm like, of course I don't. I just graduated, trying to get the foot in the door, but never got in. So had to redirect and go to other companies. But yeah, it was cool though.
Mhm.
It was cool.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you got to have experience,
Yeah.
right? But you don't get experience, right? And that's one of the things we do with the Leon Thomas Group. We give folks experience, right?
Nice.
We
Yes.
give folks experience. But I'm just gonna say this, and we can keep moving.
Uh-oh.
I also would venture to say that the same time you were filling out applications and interviewing and whatever else, and they said to you you didn't have experience, there was somebody else who didn't have experience, but they got the job, right?
That's
And anybody that's going to deny that that stuff happens, you're just kidding yourself.
that's correct.
Stop.
That's right.
Just stop,
Totally agree. Totally.
right? Right?
Yes.
It happens. It
That's right.
happens,
That's right. That's
right?
right.
So, I mean, 'cause, don't y'all even, and there's one person that watches a lot of the shows, and everything he talks about is says, Leon, why you got to always bring up race? Did I bring up race? Did I say race?
Not at all. Not at all. Not at all.
It's somebody else.
That's right.
It's
That's right.
somebody else.
That's right. And we can always say is it's not what you know, it's who you know. So
Who
you
you
can
know,
put it in there too.
right? Right,
That's what you could be talking about right there.
right. I'm just saying it
That's right.
happens, but I'm also saying to folks that are in hiring positions, give people experience. So bring
Yeah.
in a college student, maybe even a high school student, and give them a chance. Let them get experience.
That's correct.
Right?
100.
Let's work through that. Let's work make that happen. And if you're an educator, I get it. A 4.0 is great. I understand.
Mhm.
Talk about work experience too. Get those kids out of the classroom and let them get a chance to get some real world experience, get the hand dirty,
Yes.
learn how to do some things.
Yes. Yes.
All
Definitely
right,
needed.
let's do it. Now, your website, Mr. Butler, newerasuccess.com,
Yes.
right? Tell us what led you, why did you decide to leave the corporate world and come into to what you're doing with personal credit, business finance, and leasing? And I want to talk more about that leasing to learn what that is and how it works. We'll do that later after
Okay.
commercial. But
Okay.
tell us about your business and why you decided to leave corporate to do this.
Okay. So the last company that I was with was a mental health agency. I was there 7.5 years. So my seventh year, which is about around roughly July 2015, my supervisor accused me of stealing time from the company. He failed to realize, and what he already knew is the PTO is automatically deducted. So it goes through the system. Your supervisor has to sign off on it digitally, and then it automatically gets deducted. Now, me being the accountant, I have to reconcile PTO every month. So I have to make sure it balances. So he gets a spreadsheet every month that balances because I do it. So there was no way that I could steal time. So the icing on the cake was, it was falsely accused me. And that's what he told HR under italics, and he never apologized to me. So it kind of made me feel some type of way, and it was like, all right, maybe it's just time for me to move on from being in the corporate world. So when I opened up my company in 2016, my credit score was around a 660 at the time. And when I tried to get funding to start a business, I couldn't get it because my profile wasn't seasoned. It wasn't ready for funding. So I ran across a gentleman who did business credit and business funding, and he kind of showed me some ins and outs. And I said to myself, if these little small details I don't know, growing up, I didn't learn these things. I know a lot of other people didn't learn these things. So I just say, you know what? Let me start teaching financial literacy to others. As I learn, I want to start teaching others and showing others how to build up their company, build generational wealth for themselves, and things of that nature. So that's what led me to now moving on to, doing credit and funding altogether.
Hmm.
Yes.
So here's your boss who basically accused you of stealing,
Yeah. Yep.
right? And you said, I got enough of this.
Yeah.
I'm out.
Yeah.
I'm out,
Yep.
right? And then you said, I need to start my own, and you couldn't, right? Or it was hard for you to do.
That's correct.
And you ran into someone who taught you,
Correct. Yes.
right?
Yes.
So first, you were open to learning.
Yes. Yes.
See, a lot of times folks aren't open to learning,
That's correct.
right? We think we know it all,
Correct.
or when someone's trying to help us, we see it as they're trying to hurt us, trying to slow us down, and they're really just trying to help,
That's it. Right.
just
Right.
trying to help.
Correct.
And and again, this ain't about race, but I'm gonna call it what I've experienced,
Yeah.
right? I have seen black people try to help another black person,
Mm-hmm.
and that person says, what you know. Like, I'm sorry, I've been working in accounting for 30 years. That's what I know.
That's right.
Or I screwed up enough to know what not to do.
Correct.
And I'm just trying to help you, brother. I'm just trying to help you, sister.
Right.
I'm just trying to help, right?
Right. That is correct. Yeah.
We won't accept the help, right?
Yes. Yes.
And then sometimes everybody, we just refuse to give it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or don't see where there's a need that we could do. And I love what you said.
Mm-hmm.
As I was learning, there was things that you didn't know that you said there's probably other people that don't know either.
Correct.
So why
Exactly.
can't I teach them? See, that's yes,
Yeah. Right.
yes. And
Right.
all because they said you stealing time.
All because and there was other little things like I always thought I should have had a better paying position. I
Hmm.
applied to different places and went through that experience, and it's like when that kind of happened and they capped my salary. That was another part. They had capped salaries.
Salary cap. What is this? Pro sports?
Yeah, exactly. So
Salary cap.
and I'm like, all right, like this is so I'm staying here another 3 years. I got to stay at the same price point, like. So he had the nerve to tell me, before he accused me of time, he was like, "Oh, well, I can always change that." I said, "Oh, you want me to kiss your okay? I ain't doing that." So, all right, we keep it at that. So,
Uh-huh.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah. I hear you.
it's cool.
Folks, you're watching Real Thoughts and Conversations. Our guest tonight is Cedric Butler with New Era Success. He can help you financially get your personal credit together, but also help you get your business stuff right. So if you want to start a business or have a business and you're struggling financially, this is the guy you want to call,
Yeah,
right? You want to get in touch with him. I said call. Okay, I know. No, nobody make phone calls no more. I get it. I get it. So in that case, email him.
That's it.
There's his email, cbutler@neweraSuccess.com. Check him out. Tell him you learned about him here on Real Thoughts and Conversations. And again, his website, check it out. Experience and learned things that he didn't know and said there are probably others that need to know this. And now that's what he's doing in his business.
That's
That's what
correct.
he's doing. So he's here to help. And there's nothing wrong with making a few dollars while you're helping too.
That's right. Yeah.
Right? There's
Right.
nothing wrong with that. Right?
Exactly.
God has set it up so that these are skills that he has found a way to give you, and now you're able to use them.
Right.
Right? There's nothing wrong with that. Now, before we jump into some nuts and bolts
Hmm.
about what you do and to start talking some financial things, right? Please know this. Number one, I know enough about finance to be dangerous. I'm dangerous,
Right.
right? I used to teach financial management in the hotel business.
Yeah.
I'm dangerous. I can help you calculate an ADR, a RevPAR, and an occupancy percent. Oh, I'm dangerous,
Yeah.
right? I'm dangerous, right? And I gotta look, watch this, watch this. I got a checkbook too.
Ooh. Ooh.
Yeah, and you like, ooh, you still
That's too
writing checks?
much
That's
money.
one thing we gotta talk to you about, Leah,
Still got those around.
right?
Cool
But
way.
what'd you say?
Cool way. Let's get it. That book. Let's get it.
I have a shredder right over here too, right? So
That's
that's
right.
where that needs to go. But I know enough to stay floating,
Yes. Yes.
right? And
Yes.
I think I'm gonna learn something from you tonight that's gonna help me, right?
Okay.
And I think it's gonna help others. But before we get into that nuts and bolts, before we take our first break, let's tell everyone how we met, right? We met through networking,
That's right.
right?
Yes.
Go ahead, kind of lay it out how we met.
So I joined a group called NRG. I was invited by someone through LinkedIn, and my first Zoom meeting, I loved the energy of the group. Everybody was passing referrals, giving tips, giving gems, passing other information to other people who needed a mortgage broker or a realtor or somebody who can help do sponsorships and charities and raise money. And the energy was just great, just passing this information. So the group had a extravaganza, which Leon did a big testimony, had a testimony. He also told us he can play if I'm not mistaken, the trumpet, right? Correct? Was it the trumpet? I'm gonna put you on the spot. Come on now. You play an instrument. We wanted him to play that instrument, but he said, nah, I won't give you a little teaser. There you go. See, there you go. And Leon and Mike met a while back. Um, Great energy they had. They shared some things, and Leon gave us some tips and shared his testimony about NRG, and it was a great thing. So while the event was going on, I was emailing Leon because I wanted to learn from somebody who has experience and been in the game, and wanted to get some of his knowledge. Take some values and gems from him. So I reached out to him, and he told me that for all new NRG members, he gives a complimentary introduction, a nice little 5 to 10 minute video presentation, and it was great. And it's not always about business. We talked about each other, life, and things of that nature. So just great conversating with him and learning things. So be willing to learn from others. I mean, just open your mind up and just be willing to learn, because we don't know it all, and it's always good to learn from others because they can share and give you some great value, to pass down to others, that don't know.
Yeah. And also the other thing, the organization that Cedric and I met through is called NRG. The full name is Network Referral Group, but they go by NRG. And if you go to, and that's not the correct website, it's nrg.online. If you go to nrg.online, you can learn about the networking groups, the networking group that we are referencing, nrg.online. Go there and check it out. But that's something else that can help create business success, the concept of networking,
Correct.
right?
Yes.
And a lot of folks think networking means who can I talk to that's going to buy my stuff?
Wow.
And that's not it at all.
Not at all.
It's
Not at
building
all.
relationships with people that might know people who
Yes.
might buy, or who might know people who know people. And it
Yes.
just happens to building the relationship,
Correct.
right? It's
Correct.
not going to be
Right.
close a sale after the second
Right.
call. That's just
No.
not what happens in networking. And so I enjoy helping folks understand that
Yes.
that part of it. And that's why, you and I here, you reached out, yeah, and you just never know who's going to be in a position to help who,
Right.
right?
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
how, right?
Right.
So here's what we're going to do. We're going to take a quick break. Then when we come back, we're going to dig into some nuts and bolts of this financial world. I'm
Okay.
going to ask some questions and tell some stories and see what advice you have, because people need to know what you know. But this is
100%.
a great way for them to understand, to get some real basics out. And
Yes.
so that's what I'd like to do here. This is going to be great. Look, I got a spreadsheet right here. I came ready. I came ready.
I love it.
I came ready.
I
Yes,
love it.
sir. Folks, you're watching Real Thoughts and Conversations. Our guest tonight is Cedric Butler with New Era Success. He's the finance guy. He can help you with your money situations, get that credit right, and help you with business equipment leasing. We're going to talk some about that. You can contact him directly at cbutler@newerasuccess.com. You're watching Real Thoughts and Conversations. We'll be back in a couple of minutes.
Announcing the newest show from the Leon Thomas Group, Cooking with Kids in the Kitchen.
Each week, we're going to have kids on the show in their home kitchen, showing us their culinary expertise right here on Cooking with Kids in the Kitchen. If you know of a kid that would be great to have on Cooking with Kids in the Kitchen, contact Leon Thomas with the Leon Thomas Group.
His email address is leon@theleonthomasgroup.com.
That's Leon@theleonthomasgroup.com.
Cooking with Kids in the Kitchen. At Rod's Car Repairs, we work on all cars, old cars, new cars, and your car. Car Repairs by Rod.io.
Renting is everything. It's style at your doorstep, off the runway and into your closet. It's every trend you've been dying to try and every designer you've yet to discover. It's wearing it your way every time and making it count everywhere you go. It's never worrying about what to wear, because something new is always coming your way. That's why renting is everything. New styles, top designers, all for a flat monthly fee. Start your subscription at renttherunway.com.
Slow roasted over hickory fire and pulled by hand. This is the way pit pork has always been done. Pulled pork lovers, rejoice. The smoky old days are back at the Smoke Shack. From the creative team that brought you The Browning Project and Dead by Morning comes a new thriller that will change the way you look at white-collar crime forever. Falling from the Sky.
Baked by Brianna has been your Baltimore hometown bakery since 1969. Located in Ruxton Plaza, Baked by Brianna. Visit bakedbybrianna.io.
Water. It's everywhere. We drink it, we bathe with it, we cook with it. Coffee's made with water. Toilets won't flush without it. It's used for washing clothes, dishes, utensils, pots, pans, floors, and our teeth. Plants and crops need water, animals drink it, and fish need it too. And don't forget, we can have a lot of fun in the water. Water. What would we do without it?
Hey, welcome back to Real Thoughts and Conversations. I'm Leon Thomas here with Cedric Butler with New Era Success. Those commercials that you saw, all edited, designed, everything by interns, students, and staff members of the Leon Thomas Group. So if we can help you design something like that, let us know. It's all complete. We write it, voiceovers, everything. It's all done right here at the Leon Thomas Group. So there's our website. You can contact me directly, Leon at theleonthomasgroup.com. All right, back to our discussion with Mr. Cedric Butler. And I told you, I'm coming with some questions. I'm coming. All right, so here we go. So when someone wants to start a business, right, and they go to a bank and they want to get a loan for that, why is it, what is the value of getting the loan? Why can't they just, or why do folks want to get a loan? What's the advantages? What's the advantage of getting a loan, approaching a bank, as opposed to using money to draw out of your 401k or anything else like that? What's the advantages of having that setup? Why go and try to get money?
So it's a few reasons. I would say getting a loan from the bank, because you want to separate personal from your business. So if you're trying to get business funding, you want to get funding that's going to report to the business. So going to a bank that actually reports, just like how we build up our personal credit, there are bureaus that you can build up business credit for. So it's good to go to the bank to get a term loan or a line of credit or credit cards where you can use those funds and use it for your business use. So I would always recommend somebody to get a business line of credit, so you only use what you need and keep the rest there, and you only pay back what you use. So if you have $100,000 line of credit and you only use 20,000, you're only paying back the 20. Instead of getting a term loan where they're giving you the lump sum up front of 100,000, and now you're making monthly payments on that 100,000. So some people may not be disciplined to, get the whole 100 and spend it on things they don't really need. Whereas a line of credit, you only use what you need for the business purposes.
But I could take that 100 grand and put it in the business account, and I could take me a trip to Hawaii and see a client and call it a business trip, can't I?
You can. It won't be the whole 100,000, but you do have business expenses where you can book a trip, and if you got business expenses, you do have that as well. So, but not the whole 100,000. Not gonna
Right.
cost
But
100.
yeah, but I understand what you're saying is, look, get that line of credit,
Yeah.
then you're only paying on what you use,
That's correct.
right?
Yes.
Even though you may have it available to you, right?
Yes, correct.
And then, okay, good. All right. Now, you mentioned that you talked about it in your introduction, was that your personal profile was not where it needed to be to get the business going, right? The business loan, right? Or something like that. How does the personal credit tie into business? Why do I have to pay my personal bills if I'm talking about my business? Are the two separated? Or how does all that work?
So banks are going to look at view your credit profile because they want to see how good your credit is. And it's not actually the score, it's what's in the profile. So if you handle your expenses well personally, the banks are going to look at it as, hey, he's not going to mess up his good credit if we give him this 30 or 50 or 80 or $150,000 loan or credit card or line of credit because you have great personal credit. So what I tell people is you have to leverage and build out your personal credit in order to get business funding. Now, the key is only the inquiry will show up on your personal credit profile, not the actual line. Nothing business will show up. So that line of credit will not show up. That credit card won't show up. There are business credit bureaus such as Dun and Bradstreet. Experian has a platform. Equifax has a platform. There's something called Small Business Financial Exchange. These are the business credit bureaus that will report that line of credit. That's what they will report it to. So you won't have to worry about showing it up on your personal credit. Only the inquiry. But you have to leverage your personal credit in order to get funding. Only capital. Now, if you're looking to get supply accounts, if you ever heard of like the Ulines, Grangers, gas cards, they have terms like net 30 and stuff like that. You can build that off your EIN only, but that's like a slower process. And most people don't need a lot of supplies for their business, maybe few industries. Most people want the money, to grow out and build their business. But there's the other side where supply accounts, you can do that solely off your EIN, where it doesn't affect your personal credit at all. You don't give up your social at all, just your EIN number.
Okay, so that EIN, that's my what's the EIN? I can't remember what that is.
Employer identification number.
Okay, so I can with
Yes.
my EIN, I could go to Granger or whomever the vendor is and say,
Yes.
you're going to use my business
Yes.
number
Yep.
to determine if I'm legit or not.
That's correct.
Right? You're not getting my 9-digit social security number.
Not at all. Right. And then there's other things as a business owner. You want to have your website. There's something called the DUNS number, which is kind of like the social security number for your business. DUNS number, DUNS, and you get that from Dun and Bradstreet. That's a free number. So there's other things you should set up structurally for your business so you can get these different lines of credit from these different vendors. So yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Now you mentioned equipment leasing.
Yes.
Right. Let me tell you my experience in that, and I want you to give us some examples of when we say business equipment leasing. Right.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
I was in a business that had some fast food locations, and the franchisor said, I can connect you with someone that could lease you the equipment you need. Right. And they had a lease on every little piece of equipment. There was a lease on the sign. There was a lease on grill number 1. There was a separate lease on grill number 2. I mean, the everything had a lease.
Yes.
Right.
Correct.
And this was the first time I had heard of that at all.
Right.
So we're talking to the first leasing company. Right. He says, oh, I know exactly what you need because I've done business with that franchisor a lot of times. Right. I've done a number of deals with him. So you're going to need 10 leases. I don't need 10 leases. We need 10 leases. That's one store.
Right.
He's like, no, but every piece, the refrigerator is a lease.
Right.
And that's a lease. And that's a lease. And I was lost, all confused. I said, nah, I'm not.
Time out.
I'm out. Right. And you're telling me, the sign, there's a lease for that too. I just said, no, I don't understand it.
Right.
Right. And I've since learned that if I don't understand it, doesn't mean it's wrong. It doesn't mean it's bad. It just means I don't know about it.
Yes.
So I find people that, that can help me understand it.
Yeah.
But still, even then, if I don't get it, I still don't do the business. I got to understand it.
Cor-
Okay.
And that's how you should be. Yes.
Right. I got to understand how, like cryptocurrency.
Right.
I don't get it.
Me either. Wait,
I don't understand it. If I asked somebody one time, I said, can I take cryptocurrency and go to 7-Eleven and buy some gum?
right.
He said, no. I said, how about a soda? He said, no. I said, how about a hot dog? He said, no. I said, I don't get it. What am I going to do with it?
Right.
Then somebody else told me, yes, you can. I said, well, where is it?
Right.
What am I? And I
Yes. Yes. Yeah.
oh, people are making millions doing it. Great. Congratulations to them.
Correct.
I can't get it. Help me understand that this business leasing, this equipment lease. Give us an example of that. What does that mean? And give us an example of it, please.
So equipment leasing is you're pretty much taking, let's say, a truck driver comes to me and say, hey, I want to get my business started and I want to get a truck. So we're going to take that truck. We're going to have him get an invoice from a dealership or a quote. And we're going to show him, we're going to help him get approved to get that financed over time. So you know how most people want to try to pay for stuff up front? Instead of paying for the asset up front, show them how to just finance and get a monthly payment over time. So that's what we do to help business owners out, because trucks are 30,000, 50,000, whatever that number is. Instead of trying to save up all this cash to buy something up front, you don't know how the business is going to run. You don't know how you're going to be cash flowing. So you want to just say, you know what? Let me get that finance and get a monthly payment. Start running your business, making that monthly payment. And then over time, you can add on to that monthly payment so you can pay it off quicker and then rinse and repeat. So that's all equipment financing is just taking a bunch of equipment, whether it costs you 50,000, 100,000. And we have a simple process where just filling out an application, get an invoice or a quote from a dealer, bank statements, just to show that you're making money somewhere and that you're able to pay it back. And then we can have a term sheet for you, tell you what your monthly payment is, how much the payback amount is, so forth and so on. So simple as that. I think that's something people don't utilize enough. And credit plays a factor because they're going to look at your credit.
Mm-hmm.
If your credit is not great, they can ask up to 40%. And who wants to pay 40% of a piece of equipment that's 50,000? Some people don't have 20,000 just sitting if their credit is bad. So
you said they'll ask for 40% down?
40% down. Yes. If you creditors, they can ask up to 40%. Like, things have changed drastically, with some of these lenders. So yeah, if your credit is not in a good space, it can get expensive. It can get very, very expensive. So I kind of tell people, get your credit fixed. Just work on your credit, leverage. And that's all about leveraging your credit. Because, everywhere you go get a cell phone, they want to run your credit. A utility bill, they want to run your credit. Every simple little thing. So you want to have good credit because it can cost you in the long run.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Folks, you're watching Real Thoughts and Conversations. Leon Thomas here with Cedric Butler. His website for his business, New Era Success, newerasuccess.com. We're talking about business and personal finance. You have questions. This is the man you want to talk to. You want to don't go to AI. Don't go to Google. Right? Contact Cedric.
Right.
Email address is cbutler@newerasuccess.com. All right. Now, in the couple of minutes we have left, tell me two things. You already did one, the personal credit, right? Get your credit right. Oh, by the way, I was with a family member in a hospital yesterday or earlier this week, and in the emergency room. And they came in the registration cart, they come by and I need to make sure, they basically now what insurance you got, is basically what they're doing, right?
Yep.
And the young lady said, and can I have your social security number?
Yeah.
The person I was with said, no, And they say, well, it's part of our registration. He said, it's not part of mine. You're not, no, you're not getting it.
Right. Right.
And the young lady was like, you know, he said,
Right.
you don't need my social security number to treat me for what I'm here for,
Mm-hmm.
you know,
Mm-hmm.
and he kind of looks at me, you know, and I'm thinking, how often do we just give that out?
Right.
Not
Yeah.
even thinking do they really need it? Why did we, yes, you go. So I thought about it, and there are times that I just people say, and what's your social security, and you just give it. I'm like, why? I'm gonna start being very careful with that. I want to, you
And you
know,
should. And
yeah,
you should.
yeah. I want to know, what you need my social security number for,
Yeah.
you
And you
know?
should. That's the things you need to ask.
Yeah.
People on, like, why are you running my social? What's the need for that?
hmm hmm
And
So now we talked about the importance of having your personal credit right? Give us one more thing, right? It doesn't have to be the most popular thing, whatever. Just give us one thing that can help someone uh, be ready if they need to start a business, want to start a business, whatever it is. The biggest financial mistake you've seen. It's your game. You're on. You're on. You call it. Give us if there was a tip or two. What would you suggest to us?
oh man, one I would say discipline with your spending, because a lot of people overspend on their credit. They go over that 30% threshold. So a lot of people overutilize their credit.
Now, when you say over 30% threshold, explain what
Okay.
that means.
So when you have a credit card, and we're gonna take the simplest number, $1,000 credit card. Let's say you have $1,000 limit. Most people will spend $500-$600 on their credit card. So in credit world, you want to keep your balances under 30%. So you want to keep it $300 or less on 1,000.
Okay.
Right. So I tell people, if you do have to go over, so let's say I had this $1,000 card and I wanted to go buy a TV, right? TV is $600. When the due date comes, I want to make sure or try to bring that card back under $300. Even if you don't pay the whole $600 off, if you're able to just say, all right, let me bring it back under the 30, the algorithm won't penalize you for being above the 30.
Okay.
So
That,
that's things
uh-huh.
people, and another tip that some people don't like, when you have a due date on the 25th, you also want to know when the statement date is, because just because you pay that card off on the due date, don't use that card the next day, because now you're raising your balance back up. So when the statement date hits, it's going to give the balance of how much you owe on that card. So if you use that card after, you keep spending on that card after, you may go over, and that's this. So people should find out due date, statement date, so they know, okay, let me not use this card until the statement date hits, and now I could use back this card, and then when the due date comes, bring it back down under the 30. Because a lot of people they confuse the two. So
Okay.
pay your cards on the due date. Always get your cards paid on the due date, but
hmm
it's the minimum or anything. And if
hmm
you want to bring that card under, find out what the statement date is, because you can make a payment before the statement date to bring that card even lower. You can do that before the statement date actually hits.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm learning. I'm
Yeah.
learning. I didn't know about the 30% rule
Yes, the
and
30%.
the
So
concept of due date versus statement date.
correct. Yes.
Right on. You're teaching us. You're teaching.
100%.
You're
So
teaching.
that's
Appreciate.
one tip, being disciplined on money, what
Okay.
you report. And second tip I will always tell business owners is, when they get in business, make sure you have your books in order. Books and taxes are important, people. A lot of people do their taxes, but they may not do books. And it's important to have your books done every month, every year. It's very important because when you're trying to get big loans down the line and you start to grow and scale your business, they will ask for a profit and loss statement and different things. And you should be able to go in QuickBooks or Sage or whatever accounting software is out there that you want to use and print that out and give them to them. Because at the end of the day, when you're doing your books, now it's easier for somebody to do your taxes because all your stuff is organized within that year period. So now it's easier to do taxes and things of that nature. So please, people, do your books. I'm not talking as an accountant right now, even though that's my background. I got my degree in it, but it's just important in the long run because I run into a lot of business owners who don't do their books. So it's very
And
important to do that.
I had an accountant, a CPA once tell me that what I do in terms of keeping my books organized
Mm-hmm.
could be as simple as when somebody pays you for a service, write it down in a spiral notebook. John paid me $500
Mm-hmm.
and keep the invoice over here and write it in the book.
Mm-hmm.
And when you go buy paper at wherever,
Yep.
write down bought paper
Yeah.
and put the receipt over here.
That's correct. Yeah.
And then at the end of the year, he started telling me do it quarterly. Come to him and he'll put together the report.
Yeah.
He said,
Correct.
but if I don't have the information, there's nothing I can do.
Or keep it real, even more simple. Personal credit card, business credit card. Whatever you use for your business, swipe for your business. So it's documented on your business account.
Hmm.
Personal, anything personal, you just use your personal. Do not commingle these two. Please try not to. Keep it separate. That's the other thing is when you open up, make sure you have a business bank account. I just talked to somebody the other day that's, they're growing their business and they only have one personal account. And I'm like, can we change that? So she's like, no, I got some things I need to work on. And I'm glad I had this conversation with you. I'm like, okay. I said, I will be following up with you. So she was like, please do that. But I'm like, yes, please don't separate. Keep those things separate as best as you can.
So now if I'm going to open a business bank account, they're going to check to see if I'm open, registered, whatever with the state, right? I just can't go in there and say, I'm Leon. I want a bank account under leon.com,
Yes,
right?
correct. So they will check with the Secretary of State. So you have to do things in order. Get your entity established, then get your EIN next. And then once you get your EIN and you're registered, you can then go open up a business bank account.
And then they're going to check my credit too before they open the account.
Oh, no, they're not going to check it.
They're not going to check my credit.
They'll do a soft pull.
Okay.
Nothing major. If they can offer you something, and if your credit is great and they can offer you something, they will. But they won't. They just do a soft pull when you go in there, just to make sure you're not in check systems or you owe another bank. That's
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
All
Yes.
right. Right on. This is good. I learned some things tonight. Thank you, Mr. Butler, Cedric Butler. Thank you.
Thank you for the invite, Leon. It's always a pleasure speaking with you. Always.
And folks, if you've watched and you've learned something, send me a note that says we gotta have more people like Cedric on the show. Right? Send it to me, Leon at the LeonThomasGroup.com. But better yet, contact Cedric directly and tell him, right? Cedric, I don't know how many people gonna contact you. You may get one, you may get 500, you might get. Check this number out. You might get 25,000.
Inside joke. Inside joke.
But either way, what we hope happened tonight on this show is that you viewers, you heard something that you'll go to help make your business and personal life better, your finances better, right? We hope that maybe if you're not a business owner and you don't have personal credit issues, that you know someone that does. And you say, you know what, I saw a show the other night. Let me send you a link to it. Contact this guy right here. Contact Cedric. right? It's C Butler at neweraSuccess.com. That's what we're hoping here, right? And if one person, one of you that's watching the show live or watching it on replay, right, says I'm gonna send somebody your way, that's a win.
That's a very one. Yes. Yes.
That's a win because Cedric's gonna take good care of that one person,
Correct.
and then they're gonna send others his way,
Correct.
right?
Yes.
And that's what we want to do. We're here to help. And again, we met through NRG,
That's right.
Network Referral Group, to learn more about them. And Mike doesn't even, the CEO of NRG does not even know we're doing this show tonight. He
That's
doesn't even know that he's getting a free ad
right.
right here. Wait a minute, let me take that down. Take that down. You're getting a freebie on
That's
me,
right.
on you.
Getting shout outs and everything.
Right.
Name
You're
call.
getting all of that and everything. But but we have to understand, look, that's how we met. That's that's
That's
that's
right.
what brought us together,
That's right.
right? And so there's nothing wrong with giving a shout out to, to someone who's trying to help other businesses
That's
make
right.
it.
That's right.
And so I'm glad you came by tonight. Thank
Oh
you.
no,
Thank
oh
you,
no,
Mr. Butler.
no, no, thank you. And guys, you know what Leon just said, when you're a business owner, you want your name to be called in rooms that you're not in. People are thinking about you. Oh, I know somebody that can do that and does it well. You know what I mean? So I was talking to somebody and I knew Leon did what he did, and I said, hey, you never met Leon? I think you need to talk to him. So, when you have that presence, people would think about you, come first to mind, and say, hey, that person could do that. So that's why the value of networking is huge, people. You
Right,
don't this you need a team. You need to work with others. It
right,
don't have to be 30 and 50 people. It could be a strong group of 5, a strong group of 3, a strong group of 10. Make it happen. But have your team around you. 100%. 100%. Thank you, Leon. Appreciate it. Oh, you're on mute.
Oh, rookie mistake. Rookie mistake. Man, number one, muting the mic, and then number two, talking with it muted. Oh, wow. Now you know what's gonna happen. There are gonna be folks in my organization, the Leon Thomas Group, that watch this,
Mhm.
and they're gonna say, "Boss, you did good up to the 53-minute mark, and
Exactly.
then you had the mic muted. You can't do any more shows by yourself. You can't do it." And I'm gonna
Oh,
say, "I
okay.
told y'all I needed somebody." They're
That's
gonna,
the
"No,
flip
you
side.
didn't. You told us to go do the other shows. You lie." There it is, y'all. I keep telling you, don't let me on my own. That was, oh man, see how they do.
Do
But
right?
anyway, I will meet you in the green room after the show, Mr. Butler. Thank you
Definitely.
again for being with us. Everybody, thanks for watching.
Thank you, guys.
Real Thoughts and Conversations, again, produced by the Leon Thomas Group. That's our website, theleonthomasgroup.com. If you have an idea for a show, a guest, a topic, and I know this wasn't the hard hitting, let's talk about politics and social situations and all that we usually do, but this was valuable. And that's what we want to do here on Real Thoughts, is bring value to you, our viewer. Thanks again for watching Real Thoughts and Conversations. We'll see you next time. Take care.